Throwing a little swim bait around, and this white bass, he just kept hitting it over and over again. I'll show you guys later. I kind of modified this this swim bait a little bit, and I'll go over it with you. Hey everybody, it's Dalton. I had a great time today. I caught white bass, spotted bass, crappie. In fact, I was doing some crappie fishing, and I had a little Bobby Garland bait on 4-pound test, and I wound up catching a pretty healthy spotted bass on that light line. I'll show you that real quick. That light line is so much fun. 4-pound test. Oh, this is a bass here. They'll take these crappie baits. Actually, this is a pretty good size spot compared to what I've been catching out here, and I'm gonna let him fight a little bit with that light line. He's not huge, but he's it's a nice one. Come on over here, buddy. Come on over here. Come on. Oh yeah, that's actually a really nice spot right there. That's gonna go. This guy will go over 2 pounds easy. I just got to get a hold of him, that's all. But yeah, nice spotted bass, spawner, fat belly, a little over 2 pounds. Can't go wrong. Crappie fishing, catch this nice spotted bass. I want to talk to you about just the power of a swim bait. It's one of the best baits there is. Very natural. They come in all sizes. I make some little small ones, but they come all the way up to 8, 10, 12 inches. Just depends on where you're fishing and what you're fishing for. And today I just threw a swim bait most all day long, except for whenever I was crappie fishing. So it looks like back in this area where I thought I might get start getting maybe a little bit bigger spotted bass. Right now, these white bass are incredibly active. Have you ever bought a bait? You thought you were gonna like it, and you wound up not liking it. Now, usually if I buy a bait, I'm gonna buy 2, 3, or 4 of them. And unfortunately, if I wind up not liking it, a lot of times it'll just go on the shelf, and I'll forget about it. Well, what I've done is I've taken some of these baits that I don't like, and I'm kind of changing them, modifying them to where they'll work for me. And that way I'm not wasting money. I mean, everything's so expensive right now. It's, you know, it's good to be able to use these things. So Z-Man makes this thing right here. I really don't remember what it's called. It's got a willow blade on it and a jig. It's some type of a, maybe a tiny chatterbait type, but the problem is that I never really liked it. I never liked the way it worked. You know, maybe that's my fault. I may be too used to the chatterbait. So what I did with this is I modified it or changed it to where I could use this. So I take a pair of wire cutters, and forgive me, I don't have my reading glasses on to be able to see everything, but let me make sure I got that. I take the wire cutters and I just cut that blade off and put it in the trash. And now what's really cool is I've got just a little jig head. Now what I like to do is I like to take this is a Strike King Rage Swimmer. These are some of my favorite swim baits. Reason for that, they're really strong, durable, and I can catch a lot of fish on one of them. Now for this particular size jig head, I'll go ahead and take and cut about 1/4 inch off right to the top of those ribs. And I'll just take this once, whatever it was called, cut the blade off, and go ahead and run it through this bait. And I cut a little bit of that bait off because it just fits this swim bait better, or this jig head better. And then I've got a really nice little swim bait jig head. So I don't have to waste the bait by leaving it on a shelf. I don't have to throw it away or give it away. I just cut that little blade off and I've got a really nice little swim bait going. The fish I caught today, with the exception of the crappie, which I did some crappie fishing, were on this setup. In fact, this is the same bait. These Strike Kings are durable. I caught a bunch of fish on this. I caught white bass, I caught spotted bass. I missed a lot of them. They were nipping the tail, but it was a lot of fun. I'll give you my little setup here. I got it on 12-pound test fluorocarbon. I got a 6/8-to-1 gear loose speed spool, and this is my Dobbins Fury rod. It's one of my cranking rods. It's a medium heavy, but it's 7 foot, medium heavy, but it has a really nice soft tip. And so I'll throw this on crankbaits. I'll throw this with swim baits. It works really good. One of the key things about a swim bait that I like is when I don't want to pull out a spinning rod and fish real slow, I can chuck and wind with this thing. And it can be perfectly calm like this, where maybe a chatterbait or a spinnerbait or a regular crankbait might not be as effective because of the way things are right now. A swim bait can always be effective. And I can cover a lot of water, get a lot of bites, and just kind of figure out where those fish are. A lot of fish running around back here, just chasing little bait fish. I can see some of the little bait fish just kind of flickering around. It was a fun day. It's getting really warm out here. It's supposed to be a pretty warm day, and then in a couple of days it's going to get cool again. So it's just kind of that weird spring, weather. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I appreciate the comments and questions, and those of you who get involved in the channel. If you haven't subscribed, I thank you if you would. And the lake's been really fun. The fish have been biting out here. If you just want to come out and catch a bunch of fish, they're out here to be caught. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I really appreciate it. Talk to you next time.